The invitation to my sister Sophia's wedding arrived on elegant ivory stationery, the gold embossing glinting in the soft glow of my modest apartment. As I traced the elaborate calligraphy with my fingers, memories of our shared childhood surfaced. Whispered secrets, shared dreams, and stolen laughs over borrowed clothes. That was before everything changed, before Sophia married into wealth and left our world behind. "You must come, Hannah," she'd insisted over the phone, her voice dripping with an unfamiliar sophistication. "It would be strange if my only sister missed my second wedding. Just try to look the part this time." Her words stung, dredging up memories of condescending stares at her first wedding 3 years ago. That marriage had lasted all of 18 months before Sophia traded up for Lucas Drake, heir to the powerful Drake Enterprises and her ticket into the elite. Determined not to draw criticism this time, I spent my entire month's salary on a simple yet refined sapphire blue dress. It wasn't designer, but it was the best I could afford on a teacher's salary. While Sophie had chosen the path of social climbing and strategic relationships, I devoted my life to teaching, working with special needs children at an underfunded urban school. The wedding venue was an opulent estate, its sprawling gardens framed by rolling hills. My weathered Corolla looked laughably out of place among gleaming luxury cars. A valet hesitated before taking my keys, his expression suggesting I'd wandered into the wrong event. Inside, the grandeur was overwhelming. Crystal chandeliers cast prismatic lights across polished floors, and towering floral arrangements filled the air with the heady scent of roses. The guests were draped in couture gowns and tailored suits, exuding an aura of wealth and exclusivity. "Hannah," Sophia's voice rang out as she approached, a vision in her custom-designed wedding gown. Her diamond earrings caught the light, and her carefully styled curls framed a face of flawless elegance. "You came, and you're wearing that?" I flushed, smoothing the fabric of my dress. "You look stunning, Sophia." She smiled briefly before glancing around. "There's been a slight change in seating arrangements. You'll be dining in the adjoining room with some of the event staff. You understand. It's just that Lucas's business partners are here, and appearances matter." My heart sank. "You're seating me with the staff? I'm your sister." Her expression hardened. "Don't make a scene, Hannah. This wedding is being covered by Elite Society Monthly. Everything has to be perfect." She signaled a waiter, who escorted me to a side room. The fluorescent-lit room was starkly utilitarian, with folding chairs and a few staff members enjoying quick breaks. I sank into a seat, blinking back tears. My sister had all but erased me from her new life. "Would you like some champagne?" A deep voice broke through my thoughts. I looked up to see a tall man with sharp features and kind eyes, holding 2 glasses. His tailored suit hinted that he didn't belong here. "I think you're in the wrong room," I said hesitantly. He smiled, pulling up a chair. "I know exactly where I am. I'm Daniel Carter, Lucas's business partner, and you must be Sophia's sister." "Hannah Evans," I said, accepting the glass. "The black sheep of the family." Daniel chuckled, his gaze warm. "Funny, Lucas has never mentioned Sophia had a sister." I sighed. She's tried to forget. Having a teacher for a sibling doesn't fit her image. His expression shifted. "Teacher? I work with special needs kids at a public school," I explained. "Our program's been struggling ever since funding was cut. Next month, we're shutting it down entirely. It's heartbreaking." Daniel leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Which school?" "Westbrook Elementary. We've been searching for alternatives, but without resources." My voice trailed off, embarrassed to have vented to a stranger. But Daniel seemed thoughtful. "Do you know why I'm at this wedding? Tomorrow, Drake Enterprises is unveiling a new initiative, a $100 million education fund. We've been searching for the right pilot project." My breath caught. "What are you saying?" "I think we found it." He smiled. "Tell me more about your program." We talked for nearly an hour, and I shared my vision for supporting kids with learning disabilities. Daniel asked insightful questions, taking notes on his phone. Our conversation was interrupted by the sound of the ballroom doors swinging open. Sophia stormed in, her cheeks flushed. "Hannah, the photographer's been looking for you. Why didn't you answer your phone?" "And Daniel?" She stopped abruptly. "What are you doing here?" "Talking with your sister," Daniel said smoothly. "Sophia, why didn't you mention she runs an innovative special education program?" Sophia looked startled. "She's just a teacher." Just a teacher. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Her program is exactly what our initiative needs. In fact, he turned to me. Hannah, would you mind if I made an announcement? Before I could protest, he strode into the ballroom, his voice commanding attention. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? I'm thrilled to share an exciting update about Drake Enterprises' new education fund. Tonight, we found our flagship project. Sophia's nails dug into my arm. What have you done? She hissed. Daniel continued, thanks to a remarkable educator, our bride's sister, no less. Westbrook Elementary will become the home of the Hannah Evans Center for Inclusive Education, a model program for special needs education nationwide. Applause erupted. My vision blurred with tears as Daniel motioned me forward. Sophia's grip slackened, her expression unreadable. That night, as I stood before a crowd of the wealthy and powerful, I realized something. My sister's world didn't define me. I had found my voice, and with it, a chance to change lives. Don't you dare, Sophia hissed, her nails digging into my arm. You're ruining my wedding. Gently, I pulled her hand away. Tears blurred my vision, but they weren't from humiliation or shame. For the first time in years, I felt pride. Pride in my work, my values, and the person I had become. As Marcus's announcement echoed through the grand ballroom, cameras flashed and society reporters scribbled furiously. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught Sophia's reflection in the gilded mirror. She stood frozen, her perfect wedding unraveling before her eyes. The cracks in her carefully curated world were starting to show. But this wasn't the end. Not yet. Because Sophia didn't know, no one did, that I held a secret capable of toppling more than her wedding. A secret I'd uncovered years ago, one that could finally expose the truth. It all began 3 years ago when I was clearing out our childhood home after our parents retired to Florida. While boxing up old photos and knickknacks in Sophia's room, I stumbled upon a USB drive hidden behind a loose baseboard. I'd nearly thrown it away, but curiosity got the better of me. When I plugged it in, I found evidence of something shocking. Forged documents, fraudulent transactions, and records of embezzled funds from Sophia's first husband's company. Sophia hadn't just walked away from her first marriage, she had stolen millions under the guise of charitable foundations. The family had been too embarrassed to press charges, opting instead for a quiet settlement. That windfall had financed her rise into high society, setting the stage for her to meet Lucas. And now, as the applause for Marcus's announcement filled the room, I knew it was time to bring the truth to light. Hannah. Lucas's booming voice cut through my thoughts. He approached with a wide grin, champagne in hand. I had no idea Sophia's sister was such an incredible advocate for education. We must talk more about your work. Sophia appeared beside him, her smile brittle. Darling, the photographer is waiting for us. Lucas waved her off. The photos can wait. Marcus, when can we meet to finalize plans for this new initiative? Before Marcus could answer, Sophie grabbed my arm and dragged me to a quiet corner. Stop this now, she hissed, her voice low and furious. You have no idea what you're doing. I met her gaze evenly. Actually, I know exactly what I'm doing, just like I know what you did to Jonathan's family. Her face went pale. What are you talking about? The USB drive, I said softly. The fake charities, the embezzled money. It's all there. And I made copies. Her grip faltered. You're bluffing. Am I? I leaned closer. I wonder what Lucas would think about the Pediatric Dreams Foundation and the Children's Future Fund. Remember those? The ones you created to funnel stolen money? Her expression hardened. You wouldn't. You're right, I replied, stepping back. I wouldn't, because I already did. Marcus has the files. As if summoned, Marcus appeared at my side. Hannah, the board members are eager to hear more about your vision for the center. Shall we? Sophia reached out desperately. Marcus, this is inappropriate. It's my wedding day. Marcus's voice was calm but cutting. A day you chose to humiliate your sister. Bad call, Sophia. Especially since Hannah's email to Chapman Industries last week included some interesting documents. Our legal team found them very enlightening. My heart raced as Marcus turned to me with a reassuring nod. I hadn't expected him to act so quickly, but he clearly connected the dots. Sophie's expression crumpled as realization dawned. You planned this, she whispered, defeated. No, I said quietly. I just stopped protecting you." The rest of the evening was a whirlwind. Marcus showed Lucas the documents on his phone, and Lucas's thunderous expression was impossible to miss. Sofia fled to the bridal suite in tears, society photographers catching every moment. By the time security arrived to escort her out, the wedding had transformed into the scandal of the year. Sofia's prenuptial agreement had a morality clause. With evidence of her past crimes now public, Lucas was free to cut ties. Her reputation in tatters, Sofia disappeared from the scene. Rumors later placed her in Europe, far from the life she'd worked so hard to build. 3 months later, I stood on the stage of the newly opened Hannah Evans Center for Inclusive Education. The state-of-the-art facility buzzed with activity as my former students explored classrooms filled with adaptive technology, sensory tools, and endless possibilities. "Ms. Evans," Marcus said, joining me with a smile. "Ready for the next phase? We've got a lot of work ahead." I touched the pendant he'd given me, a simple token that had quickly become my favorite piece of jewelry. "Always," I replied, smiling. Together we watched as children played in the sensory garden. My journey hadn't been easy, but I discovered something far more valuable than society's approval. I found purpose, strength, and the courage to stand tall in the face of adversity. As Marcus took my hand, I knew one thing for certain. True wealth isn't about the life you craft to impress others. It's about the lives you uplift and a legacy you leave behind. And in that moment, I realized I was exactly where I was meant to be.